so this is Let's Talk and Thrive. So Lydia here. As you can see, nyari I seorang. I tak ada kawan-kawan I kat sini. Sonia, Amalia, tak ada. But no, I'm not alone. Hari ni I dengan my two special guests here, which is Muliani and Diyanah.
Yeah.
And they are from MFA Group. Say hello, say hello.
Hello, hi.
Okay, I have two special guests tau. Hari ni they will share with me something I think that is very very important topic, which is finance. Tapi sebelum tu kita talk about finance tu, we will kenalkan diri dulu lah kan. Takkan kita straight away berbual pasal topik tu. Okay, so maybe we can start with Muliani first. Okay. So Muliani, saya diberitahu Muliani adalah seorang pesakit kidney disease. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so maybe you can share with me, share with us more how you get to know about your disease ni.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for inviting me and my colleague here. When I first diagnosed, dapat tahu tentang my kidney chronic disease stage 3, I was 29 years old.
29.
So it was like a shock to me and my family, of course. So
Okay, sorry, how old are you now? Sekarang?
now I'm 35 years old.
Now you're 35, so that was like six years ago.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So when I was at 29 years old and then got to find out about this chronic kidney disease, stage 3, of course waktu tu terkejut lah because I was at my peak of my career at that point in time because I was a social worker for almost 8 years. So you can imagine how my life suddenly, changed after that lah.
So at that point of time, you were working?
We were working. Yes, I was working. Comfortably.
Okay.
Supporting my parents because I'm the only child.
Oh,
So
okay,
everything
I
was
see.
like on my shoulder to support in terms of finances for my parents. And then until today, actually, still doing the same kind of role for my parents.
Okay. So maybe how you can share with us how you found out bila you 29, so macam mana you tahu?
okay, so
is that a
this-
symptoms ke?
So back then dia punya simptom waktu saya first kita tak tahu pun ada masalah kidney kan. Then dia punya tanda-tanda macam demam, kerap demam. Kemudian suddenly I went to my family doctor and then kita check blood test, urine test, of everything. And then suddenly yang buatkan saya pergi A&E hospital and then got warded for almost 3 months. Can you imagine that kind of time frame?
So you were warded for 3 months.
In out hospital.
So
That
beli
kind
dengan
of.
kerja tu macam mana tu?
So I had to make that huge decision
To
untuk
leave your job.
yes, on that basis because of health condition lah. After went through that whole processes and then it took me like solid 1 year to bangkit balik daripada that kind of episode.
Okay. So how do you do during that point of time tu? Macam mana bila?
So for that 1 year tu I just focusing on my health condition dan macam mana nak.
But you said you were supporting your family kan?
Yes, so waktu tu kita hub on saving lah. Simpanan. Waktu dulu ni bila kerja as young as 22 years old sampailah kita umur 29 tahun. Waktu tu
yes.
tak ada kesempatan nak think about kita punya own protection plans ke whatever not, right? Talking about finances macam sekarang we're
correct.
doing it. But then dulu kerja balik that kind of lifestyle. Until one point bila kita jatuh sakit, that's where when people ask, do you have any coverage? That time macam, alamak, what kind of coverage yang I ada? Tak ada. So basically waktu tu solid 1 year dalam proses nak recovery and all, just utilizing my own saving pada waktu tu. And of course over
It's
time
not cheap,
saving,
kan?
yes,
Yeah.
depletes and all.
So bila you found out kan that you had this disease ni, kidney disease ni, at the point of time you rasa, how do you feel?
Okay, dia nak digest information tu pada waktu yang tersebut macam susah, nak accept the reality that ada chronic kidney disease, nama pun menyeramkan kan.
Itulah,
What does it mean? But then I just have to pull myself, kuatkan diri, terima hakikat. Okay, this is a test from Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, right? This is a test for me at a young age. Maybe I need to reflect further what I need to do differently maybe. So that is a calling lah waktu tu untuk just focusing on okay how I can get better rather than focusing on the downside which is the alamak sakit, then what can I do next? So I'm more on a positive note with the
Yeah.
support of my family members, extended family members, friends pada
Yeah.
waktu tu.
So how does it actually affect your daily lifestyle? Macam pasal I tahu this kidney disease ni you have to go for dialysis and things like that kan. So how does it affect you?
Okay, let me just share with everybody
Macam your
about
routine hari-hari macam mana?
Chronic kidney disease is actually for my state kan, dia baru stage 3.
Stage 3, okay.
So when people yang go through the kidney dialysis for example, itu bila dah kidney failure punya stage, maknanya stage 5. So I have chances lah, doktor kata kan kita ada masa.
Correct.
Dengan umur yang mungkin sedemikian, I can focusing on my diet punya control. So I need to look at my diet intake untuk make sure that the kidney functioning still functions, walaupun tak normal macam 100%, but rather it's still working. So now I'm on long-term medication. Yes.
So you're no longer you are not yet to that stage yang nak kena pergi dialysis yet lah. So it's still long-term medication. But then did the doctor say macam you can cure benda ni boleh ke? Macam tak tahu, tak sure, or it will stick with you ke macam mana?
Yes. So sadly when people get diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, it won't orang kata tu diminish the it won't go away. Maknanya it will be there, but you can prevent it from worsen, right? Daripada ke arah failure. So estimated timeline, doktor punya orang kata tu knowledge and all. Maybe kalau saya jaga makan, diet ataupun exercise and light exercises, right? Dia tak boleh yang exercise yang heavy, right? Orang pergi gym kita tak boleh pergi gym, that kind of thing. So kalau jaga betul-betul, insyaAllah time frame tu boleh panjang 20 tahun. Ini orang kata lah. Tapi we never know, right? Dengan sekarang punya hipster food and all, right? Very tempting, ya Allah.
Makan ni semua. Yes. Okay, maybe you can share with us also, is it expensive tak? If you don't mind macam how expensive is your medical expenses that you spend at that point, your savings, you said you're using your own savings. So how expensive tu?
It was very expensive at that point in time for me lah, because at a young age I had to like.
Is it expensive yang macam medication dia ke? Is bila you stay throughout your stay that you warded dekat dalam tu ke?
Warded, kira kita talking about the hospitalization bill, in out for 3 months, that kind of time frame, and then added on the medication yang kita nak beli and all lah. So estimated I think berapa ribu jugalah, that kind of amount yang really for me at that point in time I feel like it's a huge amount lah.
Yalah.
But I'm not talking like kalau ada orang mungkin pengalamannya berbeza kan, like mungkin makan 100,000 dan sebagainya. So different kind of diagnosis akan requires different kind of treatment. So pada waktu tu alhamdulillah doktor kata tak apa ni, this is not yet the end of the world. So still on medication. So when we're talking about medication also costly because I'm going to take it in every day, every single day. So dah habis kena pergi lagi. You can imagine that kind of lifestyle.
Sorry, I curious sangat. How costly is it? Macam you just give a rough figure. How much? Macam estimate 10,000 ke, 5,000 ke?
Yes, it can amounting to 10,000 and
10,000.
above. So
during that point,
point in time.
Wow. 10,000 and on top of that you still have to your own expenses, you nak kena jaga your parents, all the liabilities that you have.
Yes, pada waktu tu, right? And then until now lah, but then of course lifestyle changes, but pasti ada hikmah. That is one my belief system lah. When we were to hit by such situation, condition, it's not the end of the world, but actually we need to discover what are our strength and then bangkit balik daripada episode tu. Jangan just stay in that kind of zone.
Correct. Okay, so bila you cakap you found out about your kidney disease ni kan, does the doctor say macam ni sebab maybe because inheritance, macam your parents ada ke, your uncles, auntie, sometimes they say macam this kind of illness sebab genetics. So is it
in my family punya
your
background,
family ada?
Tak ada. So kiranya adakah saya ni pencetus katanya? Quite scary, but then okay, tak ada. Tapi
So
when we're talking about
when your parents when you found out and then we told your parent, how do they feel? Macam anak aku ada
so macam is this a real thing? You know, everybody question that.
Correct.
Is
Macam
this
in
a
denial
real?
gitu. Macam is it real? Betul ke
I
tak
like
betul?
that word. In
Yes.
denial
In
state.
denial, yes, yes.
So yeah, during that process of recovery, of course, sometimes kita ada denial state to accept the fact, right? But that just part of the processes that I had to went through. So my parents pun at the end of the day had to embrace the fact that she has this kind of condition at such younger age, and then we just have to support her lah in that sense. So my parents are my pillar of support, and also of course my extended family members, aunties, uncle, friends, and my atuk. That is another pillar of strength, because I'm not just supporting my parents, but also my atuk.
So your parents dah fully retire?
Dah, everybody in the household, because I'm the only child. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
Yes, semua dah elderly lah, dah retire pun.
Wow, I really admire your strength. Macam despite you having that, I shall not say macam burden, not burden lah, tapi macam but it's like a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
Betul tak?
Yeah.
So kita dah dengar kisah Muliani. Okay, maybe we can go to Diyanah. Diyanah, right? Okay, so Diyanah, you are very young, I heard. How young are you?
Okay, I'm 21 currently.
21?
Turning 22
Turning
in
22.
December.
Oh, okay. So you are 21, turning 22 this
Yes.
year. Maybe you can share with us more about yourself.
Firstly, thank you for inviting me also. I'm from a family of 5. I'm the youngest of 3 siblings. And so I'm very, very young lah, that's why I'm the youngest. Maybe because Muliani has shared her story, so I'll just share a bit of mine. To be honest, I'm not so much of a sob story kind of person. I don't really share like stories like this with my friends. Like if orang tahu means they are really really rapat with me lah. And so this happened when I was 15, turning 16, Sec 4 lah. So Sec 4 tu, what happened was that my father he got diagnosed with a brain infection that damaged his brain permanently. Yes. So how he is here right now, he's behaving like a dementia patient lah. So that was when I was 16.
16. How old is your father?
My father, right now he's 59. So then he was about 53, 54. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm the youngest, right? My elder sister at that point she was like 24 years old. How young are you?
28. 28.
So imagine 4 years before
Correct.
you had to support your whole family. That was my sister.
Oh,
Because
no.
my brother, he was
NS.
no, he's just 1 year older than me. So he was taking O levels with me
still okay.
together. He was Sec 5, I was Sec 4.
Yeah, so your sister had no choice
Yes,
but to take the responsibility.
Yeah, she's a nurse. So at that point, she macam baru start kerja juga. Then my mom is also not working because she was a cancer patient. And she has been a housewife for very long lah. But also because she was a cancer patient, so macam the after effects was still there for her.
So back then, your father, what was he working as?
Office job lah.
Office job, okay.
Yeah. So I think what was impactful was that for many stages, like milestones in my life from then on, my parents couldn't be present lah. Yeah. So macam collect O-level results, like no one was there. Yeah. So and my poly graduation, only my sister was there. So that was impactful for me, like until this very day.
It's okay.
So yeah, that's why I don't like tell my story, because I don't like sob stories. Yeah, I think what taught me from then is that so I started working like right after poly, right? Even when I was in poly, I was like supporting myself lah, because macam my sister should not be like burdened by it lah. So macam kesian, because
So
macam
you were doing part-time jobs?
I was tutoring lah.
Tutoring, okay.
Yes, so my sister was like paying bills and everything, so macam, and she was also at that point like supposed to get married. So macam a lot of it was on her plate lah. So my brother and I was like macam kita nak tolong, macam kita we are still studying, you know.
Yes, correct.
But I think after that, like really macam our affairs were really really easy lah. Macam I think we were quite independent. In terms of finance, macam if any problems, kita just try to solve ourselves. Jangan macam nak
susahkan
susahkan
lah,
apa semua. So that was one. Another thing was that I think when I started working, so my parents, because they were sick, right? So diorang macam like forced to retire early lah. And my mom, of course, she
no
was
choice lah, right?
Yeah,
Macam,
but for many of my friends, macam they work just for themselves.
correct.
Yeah, macam for example, I'm 21, right? So for most of my friends, like maybe like diorang kasih tolak for parents 100, 200. But for me at that point, macam I had to like just support my household lah together with my siblings.
Correct.
Like really like macam if I don't work, then it will be extra burden for my
For your
siblings. So it's
sister
like
lah.
a total different ball game for all of my friends. Yeah, so literally supporting family at the age of 20 years old. Yeah, so but it feels good, you know, to be able to know that
Yes.
macam, hey, like I'm supporting my parents, you know, like they are not, like I'm not depending on them, like they are depending on
They
me,
can
and
finally
that's fine.
depend on the children.
Yeah, and that's fine because macam I think I have I had a beautiful childhood, to be honest. I remember at this point, at one point I was for sec 2, I was just asking myself, just sitting in the canteen in school, waiting for my father to fetch me. So he used to drive me to and fro school every single day. So I used to think like, what else in life do I want? You know, macam my life is like perfect ah. So macam, you know, because I used to be in the social service sector, doing youth at risk punya work before I entered the financial service, and I realized that kids, they tend to macam look for they tend to relate fun to friends instead of family.
Correct.
But for me at that
I
point,
agree.
I related fun to family. Yes, not friends.
Not friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So macam, so when that happened, that really macam was a huge impact to me lah. So but like I mentioned lah, macam I had a beautiful childhood. Macam my parents were always present. We were always spending time together. So macam when that happened, yes, it was difficult, but I think I have had my share of happiness. So yeah,
that's
and at this
nice.
point, macam alhamdulillah, everything is like so much better compared to 6 years
Yeah.
ago. So I have like nothing to complain lah. Sure, macam my father doesn't remember me, doesn't remember my name sometimes. Like he will think like I'm like his friend, I'm like his colleague lah. Yeah, like all this. But macam I think I know macam I know that macam I'm doing something, you know. I'm like whatever I'm doing now is purposeful. Like I'm
Correct.
leading a purposeful life. I'm not just macam kerja balik kerja macam just spend duit tu beli barang for diri sendiri. But actually I'm spending money also for my
For your
family, my parents,
Yeah.
beli ubat diorang,
Correct.
check up.
I mean, okay,
yeah.
you are very young,
Yes.
21 turning 22.
Yes.
I'm sure macam friends around you macam at that age macam, you know, time tengah nak hype up tu kan, macam you have you go out with your friends, you go for macam outings ke, holiday lah, what grad trip, all this kind of thing macam. So you that how do you feel? Do you feel left out macam you see your friends more,
No.
bestnya dorang ni,
No.
but here I am, I have to macam kerja, but you know, with my family. Do you feel left out?
No. I'm a
You're a very
like,
family person lah.
yeah, and I don't know, I'm just very objective ah. Like macam okay lah, tak pergi lah. Yeah, macam I think
okay.
like that's not very important to me ah. Macam I've graduated, okay, what's next? Like, is it so important to go for a grad trip? Like, sure, it's gonna be fun with friends and everything, but
Yeah.
if can I like live without it? And I can. So okay, that's it, right?
That's very nice.
Yeah.
You know, you tell yourself macam penting ke benda ni? Macam ya kalau
Yeah,
ada
so
ni,
macam
but
banyak
then-
of my friends macam think like Diyanah is a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
But like the body je 21-year-old, tapi actually mind dia macam 50 years old.
Correct. Yeah, you know, macam
Yeah,
yeah, mana ni boring je, tak nak pergi grad trip together.
Yeah,
Then,
yeah.
you know?
I'm a very boring person actually. Yeah, I am.
So but you feel macam alah, all these things is not important.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Oh,
okay,
That's very. I feel macam, you know, young people nowadays macam friends is everything to them tau. Macam
yeah.
they
I
feel
mean,
like
yeah.
macam okay, let's go this place together. You know, kita keluar sama-sama, kita hang out, we go to this cafe, this and that. But then macam, you know, I mean, when I was at your age, I okay lah kan, kita macam guilty sikit macam I feel macam bestnya with my friends, you know. But maybe of course with the situation that you are in, I'm sure
Yes.
macam takkanlah nak pergi pentingkan kawan kan, like you know,
Yeah.
family comes first.
Yes. I mean, I have very, very kind friends, very, very supportive friends.
yeah.
Many of them very, very close to my heart lah. But I think, and I don't think all of them know my situation. But macam, they know macam, I have like priorities elsewhere. So macam, if I say no, then they will macam push it.
They
so
know
macam,
lah,
yeah, I
they
appreciate
understand,
that lah.
correct.
Yeah, but I do spend time with them. Like, I'm not so, like, boring lah, stay at home. No. In fact, today I have a staycation with them.
Okay, that's nice. I mean, I'm sure you still do macam what they call it, you balance lah, balance between family and friends.
Yes, yeah. So macam that actually also spurred me to like join this industry lah. Because macam at that point, my father, he's a firm believer of like insurance. like we have an insurance agent with us macam even before I was born, and this
Yes,
agent,
I know. It's just a very father thing tau.
Yeah.
Macam dorang get the insurance for the whole family, and then
Yeah.
macam I pun tak tahu ada insurance. It's so funny because back then I didn't even know I had an insurance tau. Then my dad macam ada nama ayah. You know like father dia kasi. Then macam insurance apa ya? Tak tahulah.
Yeah.
Then he was like ada. Then when I grow older, you know, bila I dah nak want get married and all, then when my husband asked me, then I'm like, actually I tak tahu I ada insurance ke tak. I think it's under my father, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very dad
That's
thing.
true,
Macam they get
so
all
like
this.
he planned everything for us already. All of us had
Yes.
insurance, and he's a very influential person in the family lah. So macam even this agent was planning for my other relatives also.
that's very
so
nice.
sekarang lah. But what was strange was that he took insurance for everyone in the family but
except
himself.
for him. Oh no,
So
really?
macam after he fell sick, macam I couldn't ask him macam kenapa tak ambil. Yeah, because he doesn't know lah kan.
Yeah lah, correct.
So macam that was a bit
But when he fell
strange.
sick, was it sudden? Macam
Sudden. So okay, what happened was there. So he needs to macam go in and out of the country quite a lot lah. So to ikut his boss and
work
everything.
purposes lah.
Yeah. So there was one night that he came back from Malaysia, and tiba-tiba macam he said that he had like migraine ke headache, like very severe lah. So we thought it was just macam sakit biasa. Yeah, and then macam because we cook Maggi with him and everything.
Yalah,
Yeah, dah makan semua, macam he was okay. So the next day he even went to work with a severe headache. Yeah,
maybe he
he's
thought it was a
workaholic lah.
normal migraine.
Yeah, and then
okay,
the clinic, then I remember going home, like reaching home. I was sitting there for about 15-20 minutes, just in front of him tau. And then he just looked up and he said, "Hey, you are here already." So at that point he was confused already lah. He was confused already. I was like, but I didn't think much about it. I was like, maybe he was tired, I think. But I remember at Maghrib, someone knocked on the door. And then instead of opening the front door, he opened up my door. So I was like, okay. Like, yeah. So macam I know that he was confused. Something is not right. So macam my sister is a nurse kan. So macam he was asking my father his full name, IC number. Yeah, surprisingly, okay, at this moment macam he can still remember a few things lah. He can remember his full name, IC number. He knows how to solat. He still remember his parents' name, and if you kasih gambar, he ingat semua.
Ingat, okay.
Yeah, so selective lah. But yeah, so at that point, like we knew something was not right. So brought him to hospital. Then he got diagnosed. Yeah, so that was very sudden lah. Macam within one day.
What's the name of the?
Meningoencephalitis. Meningitis is like macam I think it's infection. Encephalitis like inflammation of the brain.
Okay.
So macam the combine together becoming brain damage lah. Yeah.
So did the doctor cakap macam what's the cause of it? Macam is it pemakanan ke
Okay.
atau?
So macam imagine like, do you use contact lens?
Yes, I do. Tapi
okay.
sekarang tak lah.
Sekarang tak. Okay. So sometimes we get eye infection kan, pasal like virus ke bacteria. So instead of this virus going to that macam other part of the body, it goes to your brain. Macam can be anything. Macam
can be
bacteria
anything.
in our surrounding, virus
Okay,
ke.
okay.
Yeah. Similar macam how you get macam eye infection. Macam you
Get
don't
flu,
exactly do
sinus
anything.
or what.
Yeah, kan. Yeah. So eye infection something that's very senang nak dapat kan. Yeah, but this one instead of going into macam eyes ke, hands ke, mouth ke, but it goes to your brain. Yeah.
It's that
Yeah. So
serious. And
he was very healthy tau. So he was macam, he rarely to MC, always working.
Workaholic
But in
itulah,
one day, he just like, he's not the person that we can depend on anymore. So macam, if I just succumb to that, then what happens kan? So I knew that at that point macam, I had to macam, jaga my finances lah. And even at that point macam, okay lah, I was already in a habit. So my father would give me macam, $50 a week. $50 a week, plan your finances, make sure you don't exceed that amount. So I think that was a form of like financial planning to a small extent. Yeah, so that carried on further when I was in poly, working. Till this day, even if I buy bubble tea, I will track my spending.
Really? Even bubble tea. So macam kalau you beli koi ke apa, you macam okay.
Yes.
$3.50.
Entah, macam I feel like macam, if we don't kan, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, kita macam, where did all this money go to ah?
Yeah.
So macam I feel like it's a responsibility for me lah. I'm earning, I'm working.
So you need to know where
it's
the money
responsibility
go.
towards myself, and mana towards myself to like, don't underestimate yourself or macam don't discount yourself. Like make sure every single sweat and tears that you went through is being accounted for. Yeah.
So this question ni I nak tanya untuk both of you lah. Maybe we start with Muliani first, okay? So mengapa you mengutamakan financial stability?
Okay, that's a interesting and exciting question actually.
Yes.
It's important as a single lady. okay, besides that kita semua ada responsibility. So when we earn something for ourselves at the end of the month, we need to segregate. So maknanya kita kena pay ourselves and pay others as well. So it is really important for me lah in particular when kita nak look into managing finances for ourselves.
You need to be financially stable first,
Correct.
kan?
Kita kena support ourselves first rather support. Macam nak cakap ni, dia punya equation macam ini. Kalau kita comfortable with ourselves in terms of finances, so kita ada financial stability in ourselves, so it's really a blessing for us to give that support to others as well. It could be our close relation punya family members, okay, it could be others as well. So maknanya dia boleh go beyond. You boleh buat charity bila you ada kelebihan kewangan dan sebagainya. So it's really important. It comes from your own self first and then you deliver to others as well. So to me it's really important. Yeah.
Okay, what about you? Kenapa you mengutamakan sangat financial stability?
Okay, stability. I think okay, for those who are my age, stability is a bit hard to achieve at this point lah. Macam baru start kerja, yang tu macam I understand when you baru pegang duit sendiri, like you may want to achieve or like buy some things that you couldn't
macam
have.
deserve a treat for myself, that
macam
kind.
maybe dulu lah minta parents belikan macam feels a bit guilty lah kan. Right now, yeah, so I think that's okay. That's okay to do so. And stability will come as you go along lah. So macam I think to make it a bit different, I think more towards like financial management lah. I think that's important. Like whatever it is, macam you have to understand that macam you are earning every single day, and these are not money that drops from the sky. It's you working tau. So at the end of the day, macam okay, for example you earn $2,000, you nak ke at the end of the month you ada $0. Macam you rasa macam fair tak for diri you? Macam everything goes down the drain, and 5 years down the road you find out macam you are 30 years old, all your friends have savings tapi you tak ada apa-apa. Yeah, I think it will feel demoralizing living paycheck to paycheck. And I think this pandemic pun taught us a lot of things. Macam a lot of people, I think Straits Times was releasing that so many people do not have at least 3 months of their income as savings.
Yes,
how
that's
can
true.
that be possible? So macam we know that macam for many of us, our jobs are, or ourselves as employees, we are replaceable. We get retrenched now, they can always find someone else later.
Yeah.
So how can you be so sure that you will be employed again next month if you do not have savings? So I think in managing of finances is important lah. To at least macam put aside some money to save. Like you earn $2,000, right? So macam I think if you're supporting yourself, I understand if macam a person is supporting their family, maybe the spending is a bit bigger. But just supporting yourself, and at the end of the month you find yourself having $0 in the bank, and you tengok bank account banyak like all the cosmetic products. Every single month perlu ke beli that lipstick of like a new shade, which is essentially sama shade as the rest.
Yeah, macam nude shade sama je. Nude shade ni kali lagi gelap lagi tak gelap.
But I think it's okay. It's really okay. I don't believe in macam ikat perut. Yeah, I don't. I think reward yourself. You have to macam you earn, you penat-penat
You
kerja.
deserve it lah.
Yes, but everything in moderation lah. Not too overboard in whatever that you do.
Then how do you manage macam social pressure? For example, your friends macam, kita beli this new lipstick or new mascara or a new bag even. So how do you manage that social pressure between your friends tu?
Good question. How do I manage?
Macam kadang-kadang macam bestnya dia ni baru beli ni, macam I also want, we tend to have that social pressure among our friends kan.
If I were to say that I'm not easily influenced pun tak jugalah. We are humans, we are creatures of emotions. So to a certain extent mesti ada. But I think ada macam I know, like I have like a budget like to stick to every single month. So macam if I have some extra budget, then why not? But if not, macam these are my priority. So dapat gaji, usually the important thing to do first is tolak savings, right? And then macam all the priorities like bills lah, kecimak duit, and
Maybe tengok balance ada berapa, dia macam ada ni je. Okay
Yeah, so
lah,
macam-
belilah satu lipstick.
you know what Malay say? They say ukur baju di badan sendiri. Yeah.
Correct.
So if you cannot afford it, then don't go
buy.
for it lah. Like I know macam some people macam dia hutang credit card lah. Sure,
Yes.
sekarang you can get the barang-barang, but at the end of the day macam you nak ke macam tidur tak lena because ada credit card person
Kena
who will be
bayar.
calling you every single day to pay.
Late payment
Yeah, so I think all these things macam you buy this lipstick today, it's very nice, but there will always be a new lipstick that will be equally attractive. So the cycle will not end. So I think you have to know lah macam what's worth it.
Correct.
And
Nafsu masing-masing lah.
yeah, so macam to me macam like, yeah, this is nice, but there will always be something like nicer, or if I don't buy it today, macam like this store doesn't lose out without me giving them money. Yeah.
That's true. Okay, and then how about you, Mulyani? You mentioned kan you start working at the age of 22, 21.
Yes, correct.
22. So of course you pun from that 22 till 29 baru you found out kan? So I think about 7 years too. So do you had any macam social pressure among your friends ke apa? How do you manage that?
During that time, social pressure tu memang exist kan daripada zaman sekolah dan sebagainya. But when kita masuk dalam adulthood ataupun working adults lah, so we tend to prioritize things. Maksudnya mana yang important to me, then itu yang saya prioritize dulu. Even of kalau my friends macam talk about ada bag cantik ke, you know, zaman-zaman tu kan bag ke ataupun you know, some other things yang interesting for them to buy for themselves. Tetapi Mulyani rasa, okay, it's your priority, but that's not mine. So I really had that kind of clarity. What things I should be spending on and what should not be. So itulah how I manage my social pressure. So kalau until today, actually the habit continues. So I don't really look at what others ada, tetapi apa yang macam Diyanah just mention, ukur baju di badan sendiri, right? And that Malay proverb is really important for all Malays out there to rethink and reflect of what does it mean actually to avoid debts, for example, heavy debts dan sebagainya. Because at the end of the day kita nak tidur pun tidur yang lena, tak nak macam tengigau-ngigau, you know, terfikir-fikir apa yang kita nak bayar, macam mana nak bayar hutang dan sebagainya. Yeah.
Okay. So you were saying that kita as a woman, like, we have to be financially independent on our own. So macam for example, okay, married women, they usually depend on their husband, kan? Macam okay, their husband is working. Then what if untuk orang yang dah cerai, divorce? So what would you advise?
Okay, so Alhamdulillah, based on my previous job scope, right? I met a lot of my clients yang went through divorce, you know, and then bangkit semula, you know. Sometimes bangkit semula jadi single parent ataupun diorang remarry, for example. So how do we empower this kind of context? Ya, maknanya kat sini they need to understand what are their true responsibility, I would say. Okay, responsibility yang mana yang harus mereka perhatikan dari sudut priority mereka adalah diri mereka ataupun anak-anak. Kalau pada mereka yang sudah bercerai, you know, ada custodial children under them, then how do they want to manage their own stability in that sense, right? So first of all, of course, they need to ikhtiarkan how do they want to earn in the first place to support themselves and also the children that under them. Yeah, so my point here is, walau apa pun, look at your own strength. You know, kalau you boleh start something for your own self, small businesses, you know, because I have clients, you know, yang really buck up, resilience parent, they just do home-based business and then Alhamdulillah now successful already. Just supporting diri dia dan juga anak-anak. So technically, my what I want to address here is that people need to list down, jot down apa mereka punya keperluan diri dan juga untuk anak-anak maupun siapa yang mereka, you know, supporting pada konteks mereka lah. Because saya rasa mereka yang, you know, went through divorce cycle memang perit sebenarnya emotionally, and then nak bangun balik, semangatkan diri sendiri, kemudian nak support anak-anak, because anak-anak went through that similar cycle as parents as well when went through divorce. So important, larger scale is your family members. Your close-knitted friends yang boleh support you in terms of emotionally, mentally, monetary-wise, kita kena ikhtiar sama-sama.
Okay, then what about you, Diyanah? Macam you mentioned earlier that you probably tak nak susahkan orang lain lah, you tak nak susahkan your sister or whatever, right? So let's say macam years down the road, then you get married, kan? Do you think you will depend on your husband, or you think you rasa macam no, I will still be financially independent on my own?
I think women empowerment is something that is really huge sekarang. And
correct.
I think maybe it's because macam dulu women used to stay at home. Now they are working. So macam to motivate each other.
Correct.
So I think that's great. So macam with that motivation, I think there's sometimes it has this connotation that women used to be weak and then now they are
Yes.
like zero to hero, which is great, but not to say that macam we are supposedly macam 100% we can be independent. I think when you are married to some extent macam you will like share the load with your husband. But the other day macam I just met this client lah macam few like 1 week ago. She's working in like this big four firm in accounting, and even then macam she was telling me that right now she loves her husband, but what if they fall off love? Yeah, and macam
Wow,
that was
that's
macam
a confession. Macam what if?
macam like they are happy every day. I can see that macam but that reality check is
But
there lah.
she was sharing with you just privately.
No, like her husband was there.
The
Yeah.
one husband. Wow.
Yeah, so that was interesting lah to
Oh,
me. Macam like,
interesting.
okay, that's good. Macam you have this real conversation with each other because like this kind of things like when people get married and they got divorced, macam when they got married tu, they don't imagine that they will get divorced, you know.
Correct.
But macam things happen along the way and you discover more things with each other. So I think at the end of the day macam you have to understand that life is not always like rainbow and sunshine. So you have to have macam some form of like backup plan lah. What if this doesn't work out? Of course you hope that things will go as smooth sailing as possible. But what if it doesn't? Macam sakit kan? Like you hope to be
You tak
healthy,
tahu.
but what if
Correct.
you are not healthy? So macam what's your plan? And this person won't be there in your life anymore. So you are sad, but like life has to go on. So how do you go on from there? I always say to my clients that you susah sendiri tak apa, jangan susahkan orang lain. Yeah, so macam you susah if like macam susah sendiri tak ada anak tak apa, tapi kalau ada anak, so like I say macam yes I'm still very young, but when I meet macam all these clients who are older than me, macam they teach me a lot lah.
Yes.
So
That's
I
why you 21 tapi you macam in a 50-year-old body kan?
To be honest macam when I'm financial advisor kan, I feel like they are advising me.
I mean okay, as a financial advisor both of you pernah encounter macam clients yang they are very shy to share macam how much they earning ke apa macam
ada
a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you
Shy nak share dalam
macam,
band
macam nak
berapa.
share. So macam mana you buat orang macam you have to share with me. How do you convince them to like
Okay, for
be
many,
open to
for
you
many
guys?
people kan, macam when they think about financial planning, they only think macam it's insurance. And when it's insurance macam they think like insurance mahal lah, maybe not for now. But yeah, so macam for many people they do not know the reality of macam the whole picture of financial planning. How much does insurance cost for your age? And what are the types of insurance available? Because there's a lot. So if you don't engage an advisor, like you are basically not getting the full picture. Like you can read out online macam okay, these are the insurance you should get, these are the things you should invest in. But getting a specialist to talk to you is definitely different from talking to Google lah, or like searching on Google. So it's different lah. So based on that, for us to advise them, they have to be honest with us. So for example, kalau kita nak get people to be protected for like insurance, let's say the insurance is like $1,000 per year. So kalau that person is earning $2,000 and like based on that macam kalau their spending is besar and then dia macam ada $100 only available and then $100 supposed to save inside the bank lah, then we have to be very ethical and ensure that macam okay, maybe this is not the right time yet. The thing you have to do now is to adjust your spending. So if they are not honest with us, we cannot give them the advice that is recommended lah. So that's why macam kita nampak macam people lapse their plans, cancel because they cannot afford anymore. Because maybe at that point macam maybe at that point macam they all tak honest lah with the advisor that actually I cannot I barely have $100 in my bank every single month. So so I think when we ask how much they earn and how much they spend, it's not so much of macam interrogating them macam like or macam nak malukan dorang ke apa, tak.
Some people dorang encounter macam dorang takut to share how much they earning, jadi macam sikit agent ni boleh macam share with them okay, you must buy this plan see because you're earning so much so you buy this more expensive plan.
The connotation of insurance agent is always macam bad, negative, you know, macam dengan insurance agent je okay bye, tak nak cakap.
Yes.
Which is I understandably so lah, because I think there have been a lot macam fraud cases.
Correct.
So first and foremost, you have to find someone you can trust, someone you can relate to, that you know that if I get advice from this person, whatever that comes from him or her is from a good place. So to find this, usually maybe recommendations from friends, family. Kalau tak ada, then macam you have to macam keep looking lah, because it's very hard for an agent to advise a person who cannot trust him or her. Then you always feel macam dia ni ada trust issues. Like I have clients lah macam they macam question lah macam why you recommend me this, macam I don't think I need this. Like macam it feels macam I'm not being trusted.
Correct.
Padahal I'm the advisor tau. So
Then why you engage me gitu macam you don't trust me.
I try to be macam understand lah macam
Yalah,
okay,
yalah.
okay, this is new to them. So macam get them up to speed slowly.
Correct.
But the trust has to be there so that macam you know, when we recommend you this, it's not that we want to earn money. Yeah, we do earn money, but I think purpose and intentions may not necessarily be separate from like earning money, you know. Like we have to earn, this is our bread and butter, but at the same time, like I think
We
it's
want
not
the best for you lah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I
We
think
want
it doesn't
to-
have to be separate. Yeah, we want both lah.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think the advice is must be from information that is accurate lah.
What is your advice to people out there yang macam diorang nak plan their finance but they know that after dah deduct ni semua, they don't have money to set aside. I want to have my financial planning. Tapi I dah calculate ni semua, gaji I cuma 1,008. Then I tak ada duit untuk insurans.
Quite sad, right? That scenario.
Like macam you know, especially to macam young people lah. Macam you know when you umur baru 19 or 20 years old.
Correct.
We don't start off with our gaji macam tinggi. We start maybe 1,000 plus, 1,008 even. So when they come out to you and they say macam, oh I want to plan my financial ni, tapi after I dah calculate, I dah kasih my parents, I dah bayar bill whatever, I don't have money to even keep aside for myself for the insurance.
Alright, so let me just share with you rule of thumb lah when we're talking about financial management. Yeah, even if you are at younger age, baru start working. So remember this ruling, okay? 50, 30, 20.
50, 30, 20.
30, 20.
Okay.
So 50, 30, 20.
Okay.
Alright, so 50 adalah untuk perbelanjaan yang important expenses macam bil api air.
Your overheads lah.
Yes, so
okay.
50% out of your income tu mesti tolak kat situ. Okay.
Okay.
Kemudian yang 30% tu sebenarnya apa yang kita wants, what you want for yourself. So for example leisure lah, sikit-sikit tu ada leisure kan, kadang-kadang terasa nak makan makanan dekat restoran, you know,
dekat some cafe ke apa.
kan, okay, itu boleh, maknanya you treat yourself.
Okay.
Baru nanti emotionally you pun feel better about yourself, then you akan work harder dan
Correct.
sebagainya.
Motivate
So
you
dia
lah,
akan
yeah.
ada
Okay.
sense of motivation there.
Okay.
Last point, 20%. 20% tu sebenarnya you all tak boleh negotiate with your own self, tak boleh discount yourself. 20% mesti simpan dalam simpanan bank, for example. Save that 20% first. So another point, kalau saya boleh address this matter, is that I always share with my clients untuk motivate mereka untuk simpan. So pay yourself first. So change your mind frame. Maknanya mindset tu kena bayar diri sendiri dulu. Bayar dari
diri
sudut
tu
macam
macam mana
mana,
tu?
simpanan 20% tu kita jangan negotiate. Dapat gaji
So that is
sekian-sekian.
like pay yourself.
Yes, pay yourself first. 20% simpan. Dah settle that part, baru kita negotiate yang 50% tu memang kena berikan parents supaya berkat kewangan kita. Kemudian bil api air, your handphone, your Netflix. Agak-agak Netflix masuk kat mana?
Netflix
punya subscription. Once ke?
once.
Correct, Lydia.
Netflix once, right? So macam I nak tengok
For me,
Netflix.
it's a need lah.
Need lah. For you it's a need. So different people different wants and
Kan?
needs. Pada I macam
Once.
tapi it's true right? It can be need. I need to watch Netflix.
Okay, so that's how you negotiate with yourself, right? Ni nak masuk berapa persen kat situ. So my point here is for everybody to really make sure you akan buat simpanan untuk diri. Okay, 20% is actually minimum. Some people akan go extend 40%.
Itulah.
So you can negotiate. Tapi supaya kita dapat this habit of saving daripada umur yang sekian baru muda dan sebagainya, you start with 20% first. So start small, insyaAllah later on dia akan grow bigger. So to address another stage whereby you kata kalau kita dah tolak semua kosong,
tapi
really
tetap kosong
kosong,
juga.
tetap tak boleh buat financial planning, don't worry, talk to your financial advisor. So that's why we are here to share, because dalam konteks insurance planning ataupun in holistic wealth planning, sebenarnya kita akan ada tiers. Kita akan lihat you punya basic protection needs first. So ada tiers yang kita boleh address accordingly. Yeah, so protection, kemudian baru you look at your investment strategy later on bila ada kelebihan, dan baru later stage nanti ada distribution, wealth distribution. So macam we talking about charity tadi, duit yang kita kumpul nak pergi kat mana, you know, that is really so very very beautiful when we're talking about holistic wealth planning. So it's best to engage with consultant first so that you ada this kind of knowledge. Jadi dari situ you nak start with the 50, 30, 20 pun easier for you to do that because you understand the rationale behind it.
So what is the difference with a person who is a 20-year-old yang dia baru start with financial planning as compared to a 30-year-old?
I think firstly status lah. Like marital status. Dah kahwin ke, belum kahwin ke, ada anak ke, tak ada anak ke. So of course macam when you're younger, usually you have less responsibilities.
Correct.
Means like less overheads lah. Yeah, so with that macam if you cannot save when you are 20, what makes you think you can save when you are 30?
That's
When you have
true.
more responsibilities. Like people will say macam, oh tak apalah, and inshallah I will save next time. Like inshallah I will put investment next time.
Next
Tapi-
time.
Yeah, so macam when people say this to me, like you earn 2,000 now and you are just supporting yourself and you cannot save. When you earn 30, you are earning the same amount of money and you have 2 kids, household, your own house.
whatever,
So how makes you think that you will be actually, and then end up the years go by, you're retiring with $0. If the mindset lah, I think mainly the mindset difference lah for 20 and 30 years old. Like you have to understand that at this point you are at the liberty of saving up. Yeah, so and if you are saving up earlier means you can enjoy the fruits of it earlier lah. So in Singapore macam retirement age is 67, but if we can retire earlier, of course we want to retire
Why not,
earlier.
right?
Yeah, but why most of us cannot retire early? Because kita tak save early lah. So macam, but of course macam responsibilities come in as we go along. So
Correct.
macam that's why before responsibilities come in, we cater for that early. So that macam if we do, for example sekarang when we're 20, we are saving $500 a month. Maybe 30 we can only afford to save $200. But at least at the beginning kita dah save a lot
That's
more.
safe, correct.
Yeah, so macam at the end of the day macam you have to like, you have to be macam okay, financial is a very difficult topic to talk about.
Yes.
Even
I
for
agree.
me, I'm a financial advisor, but I don't really talk about it with my friends. It's a party pooper lah basically. Yeah,
macam
like
alamak
it's a,
ni nak bawa pasal ni.
yeah, it's a reality check for many people. Like I met this person, she's 29 ke 30 years old.
Okay, sorry to cut you. Macam does some of your clients feel macam intimidating? Macam alamak, this 21-year-old girl advising me, about financial ni when I'm like, 30. Do you have clients like that?
No, I don't reveal my age lah to them. And they also don't question.
Okay,
maybe
so they
because I
don't
look
know.
old lah.
Tak adalah.
Yeah, so it's a family joke lah. I'm always the oldest person in the family. Yeah, so for me macam you have to like macam sit down, like find a day, maybe for this pandemic, I think everyone was at home kan, so people started to have a reality check when they were like alone kat dalam bilik ke. So you have to find that day, sit down and figure out what are you spending on and can you afford to spend less, because insurance and investment, all this, or savings is very important. So the priority has to come first. And macam all this macam lipstick lah, kaki cafe, it can come, but macam can you afford to macam like, can you like live without it on some months ke, macam, or reduce it. So to do all that macam it cannot be like a 1-hour conversation then macam it's done. Yeah, it takes time lah. So you have to really decide that it's important for you, because if it's not important then, so for us advisors kan, we know people who are serious and who are not lah. Yang tak serious means dorang macam they just avoid it altogether. So we can't advise people who don't think it's
Not
important.
interested to.
Yeah. So if it's not important to you, then if you don't care about your finances, then why should another person care about your
Correct.
finances? Yeah. So
You
it has to
cannot
come from
force,
you first
right?
lah. Yeah. So macam for those who are macam listening kan, macam, I really hope macam you find it in yourself to like just find a day, like go out, extra environments, means not at home. Just sit down, figure out what are you spending on, and how much are you saving. Nak kahwin, maybe duit kahwin nak taruh 20,000. From now, maybe 2 years later, how are you going to achieve $20,000? So it cannot just be macam aimlessly, spend, aimlessly save. Tapi, for example, a person save $200. Tapi in maybe 2 years time, dia nak 20,000. Can you achieve that in 2 years? You have to be realistic lah. So all of this cannot macam be a kedai kopi punya talk lah. It has to be macam sit down, talk about it. If you do not know what are the tips that are available for you. Insurance ni ada a few tiers tau. So there are a lot of insurances. It's not just hospital. A lot of people think macam insurance ni hospital. Tapi macam tak.
Ada banyak kan?
Ada banyak. Serious. Yeah. So and to know all of this, you have to sit down with an advisor. And if you cannot afford macam for example a death insurance sekarang, maybe death insurance macam a bit out of budget for you, then get the basic one first. Like you don't macam, oh, insurance, this death insurance is too expensive or critical illness too expensive, so I just tak nak ambil all insurance. Tak ada gitu lah. Yeah, so I think a lot of people, like I say, it's misconception lah. So misconception they dengar from father lah, mother lah, like tak apalah, insurance agent semua tipu-tipu orang. Yeah, but macam maybe they met the wrong insurance agent. Takkan like we have a lot of insurance in Singapore, takkan semua tipu orang.
Takkan semua,
Yeah. And we are MAS regulated. So macam if we are fraud, then we will be prosecuted lah. Yeah, so macam dia macam two things I mentioned, find a day, sit down and talk to a trusted advisor.
Okay, I mean, is there more benefits kalau you start your insurance early tak? Macam they say like actually you take insurance bila you lagi muda lagi better.
Yes, cheaper.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
So, okay, I just
in terms of
compare
macam mana tu?
my premium and my sister's premium. So my sister is 30 kan. So let's say if she was to take a critical illness plan right now, her plan will be about 2,500. Mine at 22 years old, I'll be maybe like $1,000 cheaper, 1,500 or even less.
But it will increase
No.
as your
So
age?
depends.
Ke tak?
Depends on what insurance. So for example, critical illness. So there are 5. Maybe I just insurance. What are the 5 basic ones? Hospital, accident, death, total permanent disability, and critical illness. So hospital ni, yes, it will increase about every 5 to 10 years. This is the only one macam under the basic that will increase lah as you grow older. But for macam death, disability, critical illness, it will stay the same from your entry age. For example, you are maybe a person. So I know a lot of parents yang ambil for their kids critical illness plan when they are still a baby. Dalam tummy pun ada dah boleh ambil.
Yes.
So yeah, your father. Yeah, my father also. So for example, time baby, the parents bayar $500. So when the baby turns 21 and they take over, he will still pay $500 per year. Yes, so macam the earlier you take means you are paying a lot less lah.
Yeah.
Of course, macam if you accumulate everything, maybe you are still macam paying a large sum lah. But macam I think the brands is lesser, paying $500 per year compared to 1,500. Yeah, and usually macam people who are older, because they didn't take it before, right? So sekarang mahal, then they don't take it altogether. Yeah, which is sayang lah. Then means they do not have any safety net. So insurance ni is not something that we buy where we enjoy. Tak. It's really a safety net. Like we buy it as a contract. So for example, you buy the insurance from MFA Group. So MFA Group is promising you that nauzubillah, if anything happens to you, $100,000 will go to you, of your family. Let's say you get diagnosed with nauzubillah critical illness semalam. So this is a promise that the 1,500 you're paying every year is a promise of contract that we will pay you $100,000 in case you were to be diagnosed with nauzubillah cancer. Yeah, so it's a promise, it's a contract. It's not something that people pay with the hope of claiming. Like you tak macam beli insurance, harap-harap lah aku claim insurance ni. Yeah, but you know that it's a safety net. If anything happens, you are not at the mercy of like social organizations, family, relatives, friends. Yeah, dignity. Yeah.
Okay, going back to you, Muliani, if I remember tadi you cakap when you were diagnosed with your ni kan sickness, you didn't have insurance.
Yeah.
And then, okay, did you at that point of time you were relying on your savings?
Yes.
So did you macam rasa regret tak macam alamak I should take insurance when I was younger, or macam why my parents never take for me insurance you know, do you regret?
Yes, precisely. Because I didn't blame my parents because they are like old timer kind of
macam
mindset,
dulu-dulu
right?
punya,
So dulu punya mindset memang dekat MRT station, for example, people approach you, excuse me, kita talk to my hand, and then we just move away, right? So we don't want to engage to those people. So I think saya dalam era tersebut lah during those period, kan, bila orang approach kita lari, because we had this mindset that I don't have time to sit with this particular person to even discuss about kita punya own financial planning. So I felt so much regret because I didn't, prioritize myself to sit down with someone that kita boleh trust untuk talk about my own financial planning that time. So now moving forward, for those people who are really, really looking for some form of protection, so kalau kita masih sihat, that is a bonus point. Maknanya there's no pre-existing condition. It's a good time for you to engage with someone, talk about your financial planning. That's number one. Because number two, when you are younger, you're still healthy, so ada higher tendency that insurance akan go through seamlessly for you lah to get that kind of protection. But in the event kalau kita dah contracted with some form of illnesses, don't give up. Maknanya kita still ada hope.
Because I think some people believe they have the mindset macam, when you found out you have your illness jadi, then you dah tak boleh ambil insurance. Or is it tak boleh ke apa macam this misconception?
Right. So yang cantiknya kalau kita sihat, kita muda, kita dapat insurance murah. Maknanya based on kita punya own affordability. But kurang maksudnya for people yang mungkin dah ada illnesses, macam kencing manis, darah tinggi,
Can they
macam
still take
umur-umur.
insurance?
Yes, so umur-umur gitu boleh kita discuss further with your consultant ataupun dengan agent yang you dah comfortable with, talk to them because dalam certain insurance policies tu kadang-kadang ada exclusion ataupun ada certain clause yang mana kalau pre-existing condition ini mungkin agak teruk, mungkin ada exclusion.
Yeah, for
Ataupun
example, maybe I can just add like I think usually maybe ada case lah yang ada asthma for
Yes.
example, that they were very common illness kan. So can they still take macam hospital plan or this? Sometimes they will approve lah. So for my case, it was approved for my client, tapi they exclude all asthma related.
yes.
So still you are covered for other things lah, just not asthma. So which is fair lah because you already have that pre-existing. So depends on the companies lah. Sometimes it will
But a bit
reject.
more expensive, right? If we really have.
For my client, no, tak. It just
okay.
exclude that
So,
portion.
okay.
Yes.
So I wanted to add on to that point. Besides exclusion, kita pun boleh ada loading sometimes. So loading ni yang kadang-kadang boleh ternaik sikit dia punya premium lah, mahal sikit. So ada perbincangan kat situ. So jangan segan-segan lah talk to financial consultant,
Okay.
It's very tailored to that person tau.
Yes.
Like macam some people say, oh kau jangan ambil nanti asthma ni ada extra premium tau. Tapi it's not like that for every person. So extra premium tu is not just maybe because of the asthma, maybe because the age ke. Yeah, but because for some of my clients, yes ada extra premium. But for others just exclude je. Tapi it's still the same premium as a healthy person. So you cannot listen to stories. You have to really talk to the person to advisor to really understand for your situation berapa.
So sekarang ni I ada dengan dua financial advisor ni kan. I nak take this opportunity untuk tanya both of you lah since I ada kat sini dengan you all. So as a mother myself, macam I ada my daughter kan. So what kind of financial planning should I do for my daughter? Well, I mean you can advise me or maybe to people who are watching ni kan,
Right.
mothers ke apa, what
Right.
can they do with their children?
For their kids, yeah. So maybe I start first. When I view ataupun lihat konteks keluarga tu ada parents, ada anak-anak. So we will always encourage people to start saving for their children. Education. So in the event kalau anak-anak kita ni alhamdulillah nak sambung belajar luar negara ataupun dalam negara sekalipun. So education fund ni really ada inflationnya yang tersendiri and also we're talking about simpanan sekarang, insyaAllah in the future you dah sediakan that kind of pot untuk anak nak pergi belajar. Jadi pada waktu tu lebih senang untuk kita hantar anak-anak sambungkan pelajaran. So first is to look at their education saving plan. Number two is of course protect diorang punya health. So we're talking about hospitalization plan and also accidental plan. Because tak banyak ibu-ibu ataupun bapa yang really aware of this accidental plan punya coverage and all. Because anak-anak ni prone to injuries juga kan. Kadang-kadang
Yes,
baru
correct.
nak terpelecuk ke terjatuh ke dan sebagainya. Lagi-lagi diorang tengah adventurous stage
Yes,
lari
yes.
sana lari sini, right?
Yes.
So best to get protected. Maknanya ambil protection plans as well. Okay, and also when we're talking about long-term plan like CI, critical illness coverage ataupun disability coverage or death, that one kita boleh go on secara gradually because bila kita engage with someone which is financial consultant, it's going to be a long term punya relationship and it's going to help you with your long term goal as well. So kita akan grow sama-sama lah and we as consultants akan handhold you throughout that phase of your children.
Okay,
insyaAllah.
so education plan, hospital, let's call the accident plan. Lagi, and the last one is the
Okay, when we're talking about health kan, they covers the hospitalization and also the accidental
Your child is how
plan
young?
benefit.
1 year and 5 months.
Daughter?
Daughter.
Okay.
Yes.
So usually you're talking about girls that they become independent about 23 years old. Dah uni semua because they don't have to have to NS lah. For boys usually about 25 baru they become financially independent lah. I mean if they don't extend masters, PhD sebenarnya lah, just the basic education So maybe just to share a bit for myself, my parents they plan for everything else macam related to protection but not so much of education fund.
Kan?
So I couldn't go to uni because my family needs the extra support from myself.
Correct.
InsyaAllah macam sekarang our local uni NUS, NTU, STD lah, SIT. The basic courses that macam it's not medicine, is about 25,000 for 4 years. 25,000, that's I think like macam basic cost lah. If you are talking about medicine, insyaAllah, maybe your anak pandai insyaAllah pergi medicine.
InsyaAllah, amin,
Be
amin.
doctor insyaAllah. So that is extra cost.
Yes.
So if your anak pandai and can go to all these medicine course, takkan you nak cakap no
Correct.
kan?
Why not, right?
Yeah, so but the basic is about 25,000. And of course in Singapore we have macam, so let's say a person's per capita income meets the range of criteria. Of course you can get macam help from our Malay subsidiary agency semua. Apa ni, state board. But we cannot depend on that lah.
Depend,
What
yalah.
if they don't
Correct.
qualify? Yeah, so does that mean you are going to deny your child education? Yeah, and we know in Singapore how important education is. So that's important, that's one. But before you talk about even education fund, how about their health? What if macam one day, so right now you are you do podcast kan, so you have to be out a lot. So what if one nauzubillah, you are not able to do that because you have to care for your daughter at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, so nauzubillah because of any illness ke. So some people macam they have this misconception that, oh, my child is not earning an income, so why does he or she need a protection? So it can come from me. But when the daughter or the son sakit, then someone has to like get a helper ke, or quit the job to care for this. So the insurance actually to replace your income. Yes, so your income. So the basic ones lah, critical illness, so cancer, you know, kids, leukemia, all this is very very common lah sekarang. Yeah, even meningitis. Yeah, so whatever my father had actually is quite common in child also. Yeah, so critical illness, disability. Let's say a child falls down or get into any accident, become permanently disabled. You rasa sangat hati tak you nak biarkan dia seorang-seorang?
Yalah, of course.
Yeah,
Tak
so,
boleh.
yeah.
I will feel macam, oh my God, I'm not a good mother.
Yeah,
Macam,
so,
like I tak dapat.
Betul. Yeah, I think protection is always comes from a form of love for self or even family members lah. And of course, hospital, accident, and of course the last one is education fund lah. So protection, why we call it protection? So insurance in other form is wealth protection, because let's say a person save $200 every month. 1 year about $24,000. Correct? Yeah, correct. No, 2,400 lah.
2,400.
2.4, yeah, okay. 2.4, and then,
4,000, yeah.
yes. 2.4, right? So, you save for 10 years, 24,000. So, 24,000, let's say now something happens to him or her, cancer. You nak drain all this money for that hospitalization ke? When you nak guna duit ni actually for macam, I don't know, nak pergi, send your parents for haji ke. But because you sakit, you kena
Use that
kosongkan.
money.
Yeah, so when we are talking about insurance, it's actually a form of wealth protection. You are protecting your savings from being spent in case of any emergencies, like sickness lah. So you protect your wealth first, and then you plan for investment. You don't invest first, habis tu macam you don't actually protect yourself.
Yalah.
Yeah, so some
I mean,
advisors
invest kalau you have more money than you.
kelebihan. Yes. If you can afford both, you can do both at the
Why
same
not?
time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I think more importantly is macam Mila as a mother kan, I very kiasu. I mean compared to, not saying our parents' generation lain, maybe lain kan, they met with their all these agents, maybe dorang pun tak tahu main sign je ke apa, but it was just few days ago I was sharing with my husband, we were talking like, what are the insurance we can sign up for our child lah, macam that kiasu. I mean okay, bukan nak cakap apa, but I think orang Melayu kita lack of that's why you see macam bangsa lain dorang
Betul.
macam wah, their parents really dari dorang kecil they really buy for the insurance apa ni semua. That's why when dorang at 20 years old, dorang macam like
I have
very
like friends 21 years old. I have this lump sum of money to invest.
Yes.
You don't
But
hear about
when
this
they didn't know
from-
that actually macam parents dorang dah get the insurance for them.
Yeah.
But kita ni macam alamak,
Yeah.
kenapa kita
But
ni?
that's okay lah.
Yeah.
I think some people have this mindset that to have a child I have to have $1 million. But our parents, they don't have $1 million before they bring us up.
Correct.
Yeah, so at the end of the day macam you just have to know what's within your means to like plan.
True.
It's okay if you do not
Yeah.
have macam $100,000.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Cuma
okay.
sometimes we wish kan, how we wish macam kenapa lah my father tak ini dulu Tak adalah, joking. So in your experience dalam pengalaman anda, apakah sikap wanita yang ataupun anak-anak muda tentang soal kewangan yang mungkin agak membimbangkan? Like girls nowadays, what worries you guys? Macam korang tengok macam this girl at this age. So what are the things that you feel?
Maybe those at your age first.
Okay, maybe we go to at your age, maybe
30-an lah.
30s, in your 30s.
Yeah, so what's worrying about their mindset, I think it's all about mindset and belief system. And also sekarang ni era ikut-ikutan kan, macam dulu zaman I think in the early 2000 Korean waves lah kita panggil orang suka ikut-ikut trend dan sebagainya. Trend Korea macam mana, pakai baju gini cantik, buat rambut gini lawa, all those things cost money. So all those things you invest in yourself, tapi perlukan spending yang tinggi mungkin ya. Tapi itulah, kalau kita selalu ikut trend, tak nak ketinggalan, tapi kita terlepas self check tentang the blind spot yang kita ada, whether kewangan kita mantap ke tidak untuk reach to that level. So best again, my advice to all those youngsters out there, do something for your own future. Maknanya kalau you start saving up now, walaupun sedikit, for example, like say you earn something and then you put aside 20%, that is the rule of thumb. Kalau you boleh manage that target and goal, insyaAllah for the next number of years, you have this liberty to retire early. That's number one. Number two, kalau pun tak nak retire fully, boleh semi-retire, and then you can enjoy that kind of lifestyle that you want. Maksudnya you boleh pergi holiday, kalau let's say pandemic ni akan so you boleh pergi holiday, travel, look at the different countries out there, based on your own hard-earned saving amount of money. So again, it's about mindset shift. Just earlier on, to add on what you just mentioned, right, bangsa lain, dorang daripada womb dia dah ambil maternity package, cover, and then that maternity package sometimes comes with saving plan as well. So you see, it's again about mindset and also priorities.
Correct.
Apa yang kita prioritize in our life. Kalau kita dah masuk dalam alam rumah tangga, apa yang kita prioritize? Is it ourselves first, or is it our partner, or is it our children? Yeah, so look at your prioritize list, kemudian you discuss with your partner if you dah berumah tangga. Kalau tidak, macam Diyanah suggested tadi, have some form of me time, just sit down with your own self, reflect on what you should do next to better and managing your finances, insyaAllah.
Okay. Then what about you, Diyanah? I mean, in your own experience, you are young, so I'm sure you see macam your friends semua semua tengah living the life like YOLO, like, so do you find it worrying that sometimes macam they don't have financial planning for themselves?
Yes. So I have met a lot of people, and it has been an eye opener for me lah. Sometimes you find you see people carrying LV bag, they look very classy lah. But when you do financial analysis with them, you realize that they are really, they need some help because macam they're spending too much, more than they actually should, more than they actually earn lah. So, and especially social media, you see people posting travel photos.
The influence in social media, macam you scroll Instagram, you tengok, cantiknya dia ni pakai bag.
There's social media influencers, all these ads pasal baju-baju lah.
Yes.
Globe-trotting. So it's nice lah to lead a life like that, which is, no problem. But first is to be able to know how much are you earning. So again, back to the whole Malay idiom, ukur baju di badan sendiri. So plan out your finances. If you want that, sure, but you have to sit down, plan out. Okay, if I want to buy this LV bag by the end of the year, bonus, can I afford it? If I cannot afford it now, what can I do from now until then to be able to save up for that? Yes. So macam, but if I buy that, will that impact my financial in a negative way? Will I macam not be able to macam do anything else because I bought this bag? All the priorities
Do you do that to yourself? Macam every time macam, okay, before you, let's say you want to buy a bag, do you like macam, okay, I deserve this, but then maybe I buy end of the year. Then do you tell that to yourself ke macam mana? Or you macam, nope, I'm going to buy this today, I'm going to walk in and I'm just going to buy?
No, I'm the kind of person macam kalau I nak beli something, I will think 10,000 years.
Really? So that's a good...
My mom will be the one like, beli je lah. Like, berapa lama nak fikir? So recently I built a almari tampal, like bilik wardrobe. And I had to think like so long to make the decision. Memang kata, fikir buat apa? Dah fikir banyak kali kan? Like at least macam it's not macam an impulse buy.
Correct.
It should...
It's very good.
Impulse buy happens.
I think a lot of people impulse lah on impulse macam maksudnya macam, and then lagi mana kalau salesman or salesman macam, today last offer
semalam I met a client. She told me that she went to this nail parlor. She was just
package
pedicure tau. Sekali she saw that it was $15. And then when she wanted to buy it, it was $679. Yeah, because you cannot say, you do not know how to say no to things or to macam social pressure. You do not know how to say no to macam things that are attractive. And I think that's a very important life skills to be able to say no to yourself, to others. Yes, to things that may appear attractive, but it will be detrimental on you if you don't say no. So learning to say no is important. Okay, life skills sikit.
Yes.
So
Even
financial advisors, we don't just advise financially. Kita actually include life skills juga.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing everything, your experience, about yourself. Okay, so before we wrap things up, maybe you wanna tell to our viewers out there, macam maybe untuk diorang yang masih ragu-ragu ke untuk get financial planning. What's your advice to them? Anything that you want to say to them? Maybe start with you first, Muliani.
Okay, to everyone out there, my nasihat lah untuk adik-adik luar sana ataupun kakak-kakak yang still thinking about getting insurance or not, wanting to do investment or not, talk to someone that you trust, which is the financial consultants, because we have the credibility to advise you accordingly based on your means. So make sure everything that kita advise pun adalah within your own budget. So don't worry, don't feel fearful about approaching us, insyaAllah.
Okay, for you?
For me, find a person that you can trust, because it's going to be a long-term journey lah. Savings, right? For yourself, you mentioned that saving for your daughter, so it's not going to be like a 1-year journey. It's going to be longer than that. So get someone you can trust. And secondly, find a day, sit down, figure out what you have to work on for yourself.
It's really important. You must find a day. Kalau you tak find a day, you will never start. So you must start.
I realize macam so many people they become stressed out because of money. They say money is the root of all evil.
Yes.
But I don't believe that. I feel like money can be the root of goodness also.
True.
You plan well, you can also help your family, you can derma sikit your relatives, siapa-siapa yang susah. I think that makes you feel good, part of like contentment lah. So that's second, right? Meet a person you can trust. Find a day that you can just sit down. And thirdly, I think is really learn how to say no to yourself and to things that appear attractive. In the era of social media, what I do is that I mute things that I know can influence me negatively. Yeah, so I think these are part and parcel of life. We do have impulse buys, so we do make decisions that we are not proud of. But how do we learn from that and ensure that it doesn't happen again? Yeah, so for example, my client yesterday who bought a package of $679, she was so sad about it. But maybe that really wasn't her rezeki lah. That money was supposed to be their paling rezeki. But from then, macam you have to know lah, macam this cannot happen again. So how are you going to ensure that this doesn't happen again? Yeah, so 3 things.
Okay. So how can our viewers find you guys? Macam kalau dia nak seek financial advice. So
MFA Group punya Instagram handle is MFAGSG.
MFAGSG.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's usually people reach out to us from social media lah, either Facebook ke Instagram.
Or is there any hotline that we can call ke apa?
Hotline no, but you can call us at our numbers.
Okay. So they can just reach out to you via Instagram ke apa lah, then they will.
Our numbers are available on our website.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I rasa I learn a lot. I mean, macam as a mother, I lagi more kiasu lah, they say, macam nak fikir for my anak. Back then I was hoping that my parents ada lah some insurance, tapi okay, but anyway, it's okay, maybe tak ada rezeki kan on there. But I just hope that for our future generation, we don't take this lightly. Macam I feel that having yourself protected is very, very important, because you might not know things happen along the way, like you get critical illness ke, or anything happen to your family ke apa. So I think that's really, really important. So thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for listening to a very
sorry kalau I tanya banyak soalan.
serious and boring topic.
No, it's very important. I feel it's very important.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Thank you so much.